It's been a little light on the free agency front for the Dallas Cowboys. Not a lot going on for the Dallas Cowboys, and so you got a lot of people that are questioning sort of what the hell the plan is there in Dallas because Jerry.
That means they have what they want.
Well,
they got what they need.
I mean, Jerry Jones talked about being.
That ain't what it is.
Jerry Jones talked about being all in. Those were his comments. Like we are going to be all in this year,
okay.
And this is appropriate because it's not to tell you how the Cowboys differ from everywhere else. You couldn't put this sentence together for any other franchise than maybe the Dallas Cowboys. Because while at Kid Rock's Rock and Rodeo promotional event that will be held at AT&T Stadium.
Of course it will.
Steve,
of course. Hello.
By the way, can you imagine the Bengals doing that?
I think we need to go.
Wait, you imagine the Bengals being, hey, while while at the Kid Rock and Rodeo promotional event in Cincinnati.
Plug.
Not happening, but it is happening at AT&T Stadium at the Jerry Dome. His son, Stephen Jones, talked about the criticism of the lack of movement for the Cowboys thus far in the offseason. Let's take a listen.
I mean, that's everybody certainly has that right. I mean, we've, I know where the frustration is, the fact that we haven't had success in the playoffs to their satisfaction. Until we do that, then, the criticism is certainly something that's going to be there. And we know that's going to be there, but we're going to stick with what we believe will ultimately get us a championship here for our fans. But, we don't define all in as what you spend in free agency. It's keeping, the core, keeping some of the great players in this league, like Dak Prescott, like CeeDee Lamb, like Micah Parsons, like Diggs. That's what we define as all in.
So
keeping the great players of the league.
Now, I would like to apologize.
Did you say that was Jerry Jones? Because that sounds like Steven.
No, Steven.
That was Steven. That was Steven. That was Steven.
I would like to apologize on behalf of Stephen Jones and the Jones family.
Wow.
Because, when they talk about, we don't view free agency as all in. I want to apologize to Trent Sieg and Eric Kendricks, who signed 1-year deals with Dallas this offseason. Apparently, you're not considered all in. I want to apologize. A long snapper and a veteran linebacker, apparently that's not all in. Now, to the Cowboys' defense, how many
Kendricks can play, by the way.
Yeah, he can.
He can play some ball.
How many teams win the offseason and win the regular
I was in
season?
a place where they always won the offseason and they ain't win a damn thing outside of it.
What place was that?
Washington, nation's capital.
Yeah. We won't play the name game here on this show without it.
Little Danny. Well, we call it little Danny.
Little Danny, the Commandos.
And Washington.
Yeah, and the Washington football team.
They ain't win a
Commandos.
damn thing in the regular season.
So,
and he's just saying, listen, we win the regular season. We just don't win in the playoffs. we got one more thing to solve. So they're all in.
We've done the show together all week, and I said this earlier, and I still mean it. Like, they have the fewest or least amount of cap space of any team right now in the NFL. So they're about, I think, 2.8 million, something like that, under the cap. There's really not a lot to work with, and they do have some holes. The interior of their offensive line definitely needs looked at. Tyron Smith is out there right now as a free agent, but he's had a hard time staying healthy, so maybe they don't want to necessarily try to bring him back for the price he's looking for if he can't be out there. Deuce Vaughn's slated to be their starting running back at this point. I'm not sure that's going to be the case at the end of free agency and after the draft. But, to LaVar's point, I think defensively speaking, they're pretty solid.
They're solid.
With the Kendricks signing when they're healthy. Mm-hmm. They don't have a ton of depth, but when they're healthy, they're pretty solid. The question really comes to me, we just saw the news of Patrick Mahomes restructuring his contract to create more cap space for Kansas City, and then following that, you see them sign Hollywood Brown.
Hell no, Dak ain't doing it.
No, jeez.
Well,
he ain't good enough.
Hold on.
You better hold on to what you got, your non-winning playoff games ass.
Bang, bang.
There's a misconception with restructuring a contract.
You ain't giving away money.
No, you're not giving it back.
In
fact, you're getting money in hand.
Right.
If anything, they're extending him out into the future because he's heading into the last year of his deal. He's got a no trade clause, no franchise tag clause. So they've got to make a decision on something, whether to extend him or, I guess, decide if they want to go all in this year and then let him potentially become a free agent and walk, or at least use the market against them in the future, depending on how this year goes. That's what's been most surprising. It's not the fact they haven't been an active player. It's the fact that they haven't restructured Dak to open up more cap space to do more at this point. And I guess I'm asking you, what does that say about their feelings on Dak at this point then?
You know, I would say, what does it feel about Dak's feelings on them as well? I haven't thought about, and I just thought about not too long ago actually today when I looked at our show notes. Does Dak feel like Dallas is letting him down? Is there a chance that Dak feels as though for all the things I bring to the table, I'm much maligned by many being here. I am criticized for certain things that I don't know that necessarily fall solely at my feet. And for that, I'm going to play out my contract and I'm going to look elsewhere to go somewhere where I could possibly be appreciated and get the money that I'm deserving of, like I did here, and have a better opportunity of going further and forwarding my career.
If that's his thought, then he's making a mistake.
Let me counter this.
Okay.
This is also the team that took a chance on him.
Truth.
In the 4th round. Mm-hmm. And they decided to go with him over the all-time franchise-leading passer in Tony Romo.
Jim?
Why are you doing this?
Not just that. Think about when he signed his big contract. It was coming off an injury.
Yep.
I mean, this organization, say what you want about the attention and the criticism that he receives. I think whenever you wear the star on your helmet,
you're going to get it.
You're going to get it.
Yep.
You wear the pinstripes, you're going to get it. Mm-hmm. Honestly, you wear the gold helmet, you're going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain teams, certain sports. It just comes with the territory.
Yeah, you seen flex on them? Yeah. Go ahead, Chief. Go ahead.
Talking about Boston College, right?
Hell no. Sorry.
They got that
golden
eagle
domers.
thing.
Oh, sorry about
that. You got that on the side of the helmet. I'm talking about an organization that's kind of had his back every step of the way. So I don't know if he would have harsh feelings towards them. I mean, think about some of the moves too they've made in the draft. Like they've continually drafted and beefed up their offensive line. You know, guys like Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Tyler Smith in the 1st round. You know, they've provided him weapons. You know, CeeDee Lamb in the 1st round. They traded for Brandon Cooks last year, and I don't know that that's what it's about. I think he's got the ability to parlay this season into something huge potentially next year again. He's got leverage on them. The question just becomes, I think more so, is Dallas okay with that if he ends up going somewhere else?
They might be better off with him going somewhere else.
I mean, do you think that they've approached him about restructuring and he's just said no, or is this not even?
Jerry Jones would probably tell us. He's on some radio station every week talking about it. So.
That's true. Although there's some again, he's busy with some other stuff.
He's got other matters to
there's he's trying to figure.
He's got to be present at this point.
Like
what?
We don't want.
Okay, I plead the 5th.
Hey, listen, we don't want to fly through this, okay? But the point is, they've got Kid Rock's Rock and Rodeo show that's coming up.
And the music was going on in the background.
They're giving Cincinnati ideas to pay Burrow, by the way. They're going to start generating more revenue by having more events.
I mean, why not?
How are we going to pay Jamar Chase? I know. Kid Rock.
It's just so appropriate that would be the place. Yeah. Like that's where this would happen. If that's Dak Prescott's thought, nobody in the NFL would have given him what the Dallas Cowboys have given him.
Agreed.
And so
but he doesn't think that. There's no way he's sitting somewhere thinking that. There's no way I'll get that money somewhere else. He's got to be betting on himself and believing in himself. He's not thinking that.
I mean,
do you think teams view him as high as the Dallas Cowboys have?
No way.
I don't know.
No way.
There's a possibility there's a team or two out there that does.
You think so?
There's the possibility. It is. He does. He's not a bad player. He's just not the most elite. He's not the top tier elite in the league. He's like next level. He's next level. I mean, if you're having the debate, if Dak Prescott was, let's just say for the sake of discussion, he's a free agent this year. Is he the top free agent on the market, or is it still Kirk Cousins?
I mean, Cousins had a better year last year up until he got hurt, although Dak in totality had a pretty good season.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take Kirk Cousins over Dak Prescott. I'm not trying to. I mean, it's close, but I would take Kirk Cousins.
I think they're in the same level, the same tier of quarterback.
I think I'm with LaVar on this.
And so to me, I think you got to take a look at.
Don't write.
I mean, Dak's got more playoff wins.
I think you got to take a good hard look at the fact that Dak may be sitting there thinking to himself, I'm not doing anything except playing. That's all I'm doing, because the only thing that I've had come my way really outside of this dope-ass contract that I was able to receive during my time here is ridicule. Like, every single time something goes wrong with Dallas, who gets the blame? Dak. Dak gets the blame every single time.
Well, that's why Des Bryant made the point. You're going to be the fall guy. They're going to blame you for the lack of activity in the offseason, et cetera, et cetera.
McCarthy, give him credit. He has found a way to find fall guys. He must have paid attention to the class of Chris Carter, because he has used Kellen as a fall guy.
Y'all got a crew.
You got a crew. You got to have a fall guy.
Can we pause?
You got to have a fall guy
to put someone on blast.
Yeah,
can we pause real quick?
Come on, let's pause.
I mean, while we're working, okay,
Yep.
while we're out here doing our thing,
Oh no,
holding down
Lee.
on the herd.
What you doing, Lee?
What do you do?
We've got Lee,
What you doing,
who
Lee?
sends in our group text a picture of the Hollywood Bowl and the tickets for the Keep the Party Going Jimmy Buffett tribute show.
Come on.
And he's upset about the fact that the back row seats are $450.
I mean,
I mean, it is in April though.
Hey, you know what, Lee?
It's not. If it was tonight, I'd be really going in on you.
Hey,
right
you know what,
now.
Lee? With the amount of gas money you saved driving into work this week, you should be fine.
Yep.
Don't worry. You'll be okay there.
Yep.
As soon as you get done with that leprosy of the kneecap you're currently working through.
I was going to say, when you let your knee almost get infected to the point where it needs to be amputated, because you have to go buy so much hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol. Yeah, I'm sure $450 for your favorite performer ever's tribute show.
Hey, you ain't got to walk far. I mean, that's probably right next to the exit and the restrooms.
Hey, Lee, let's play a game. How about you don't go into the next liquor store you see for a week? All right. And let's see if you find those $450 in your pocket.
By the way, you know it's bad when a homeless guy gives you a bar of soap and says, "Here, dude, here's
you
15
need this."
minutes. Do what you got to do."
So to everybody out there that may not know who Lee is, that is our producer. He's the guy that gets all the stuff done with Jonas for the show. You know, Q sends in his notes, but Jonas and Lee are the ones that put the show together, because clearly it's, anyway. So Lee at the Super Bowl was trying to be Brady Quinn's best receiver ever in the history of Brady Quinn's career, and bit it, fell down, brush burnt his leg, top of his knee.
So unathletic. It was such a bad fall.
All the dude had to do was put some Neosporin on, put a Band-Aid on it, and a bigger Band-Aid, because it was a pretty big brush burn. But he chooses balance over sensibility, and was walking around with blue jeans on, and nothing covering his knee.
By the way, those jeans aren't blue anymore.
So I asked him one day, because he's like, "Oh, my knee still hurts, my knee hurts." I'm like, "Man, come in here, pull your pants leg up." First of all, he pulls the pants leg up. There's nothing covering his knee. You have denim on. That's first and foremost. Secondly, then he exposes the knee, and it had this super big inflamed red ring around the scar and the wound, and the wound hadn't scarred yet. It hadn't even healed up yet. It's just banged up, raw. It looked like somebody was chewing on it. It's just bad.
It made staph infection look like concealer.
It looked bad.
Yeah,
it looked bad. And then eventually he showed us that it did kind of start to heal over. It still had the little mark to it or whatever. But then mysteriously, a few days later, he's sick, super sick, and it's in his throat. You know what I mean? And I'm just telling you, that's that infection is still underneath. It was festering from underneath, and it then moved up to his throat. So now y'all are filled in on, and now he's asking us about Hollywood Bowl tickets on our text messages.
For those of you who want a visual of what it looked like when he fell, you know those turnstiles that you see if you're going through any sort of public transit, subway, something like that, the train. So you know how they have the barrier, that low bar that's probably about waist high. All right, it looked like Lee was running full speed and just didn't see the bar, and it hit him right in the waist, and he just tumbled over top.
Which is wild.
That's
because there was nothing there.
What happened? No, he actually turned the front of his shoe over and tripped over his shoe as he tumbled forward.
Well, because he runs on his toes. He's a twinkle toes runner. He doesn't. The only thing that touches the ground is his toes when he runs. That's it.
I mean,
nothing else.
It's
light on his feet,
light
man.
on his twinkle toes for sure.
Yeah, so he's been banged up and he hasn't been. It's
And
either
work.
that
He hasn't been
he's
at work.
claiming the flu. It's either that or he's getting fitted for a prosthetic.
Dang.
I mean, it's one of the two. He's claiming that's what's going on, but
We'd feel bad if you came in with a prosthetic. By the way, By the way, I would feel
bad. Come on.
I mean, you could have avoided all of the violence with it if you had just put some Neosporin and a Band-Aid, a bandage over top of it.
So he's not with us here.
Yeah.
Instead, he's on the men looking up Jimmy Buffett tribute concert tickets.
Talk about rubbed raw.
By the way, who's paying $450 for a Jimmy Buffett tribute concert?
Not in the back.
Are you out of your mind?
In the
The
back.
big Lebowski will
out
be
of your
paying for that.
mind? Come on, man.
He's going to ask us
One
again.
thing for certain, Jimmy Buffett isn't going to be there, so why are you paying any money
come on,
for it?
Mark.
I'm just saying.
Damn.